Hey guys, I'm Pat Kelly. Okay, in this problem, they start us off with this f of x, and our directions are to find the inverse informally, but then we're also going to verify these two compositions, actually make sure that it is the inverse. That's our definition there, right? Okay, so to find the inverse informally, this is the thought process. Informally, just in terms of there's a bit more thinking going on than any kind of actual formula or algorithm to follow. So here's the thinking that I would do. Try to see what's all going on in the given function. And what I mean is what type of arithmetic's involved, what types of operations, and also the order of those. So for instance, for this f of x, the closest thing to the x is the 3 and its multiplication. Now the order is important. So the first thing I'm seeing is multiplication by 3. After that would be done, then there's plus 1. So that's the second thing going on. So multiplication by 3 first, and then addition of 1 second. And if there were more, I'd just keep track, use as many fingers as you need. And the order is important, because now what we do in order to find that inverse is you have to undo each of those, and you have to undo them in the opposite order. So I multiplied by 3, and then I added 1. So the first thing I have to undo is the opposite of adding 1 is subtracting 1. So the first thing I'm going to do to that x that would be my input for this inverse function is subtract 1. All right. Then next thing was multiply by 3. So in order to undo that, I'll divide by 3. So I take what I've already written and divide by 3. Okay, I didn't have too much going on in mind, but that same thought process should serve you. Keep track of everything that's going on in order, and then try to undo those in the opposite order. Okay, all right, now did it work? Let's see, the second part of this problem is we're going to verify these compositions. So f of f inverse of x for me is this function f. There's a 3 to start, but the input is all of that f inverse. So instead of x, I'm writing all of this, x minus 1 over 3. Close my parentheses there, and that's just the argument here. So there's still a plus 1. And then as always, simplify, right? So this equals, you can see pretty quickly the 3's are going to cross out. In parentheses, you'll just be left with x minus 1. Outside is plus 1. And simplify further, and you can see that this will equal x, which is what we were looking for. Trying to make sure that the composition of these functions does get you back where you started. And where you started as input was x, and what you end up with output is x. It's an inverse. Well, half of it anyway. Let's check the other half. So now we check the composition in the other order. F inverse is the bigger function, so I take a look at this guy. But my input is f of x. So right off the bat, what I want to write is the 3x plus 1. And again, that's just the input of x. Pick up with the rest of f inverse, which is minus 1 in the numerator. Big divided by 3. And then simplify. So you can see the parentheses here can be discarded pretty quickly. Plus 1 minus 1 will go to 0. So I'm going to end up with 3x over 3. Divide out the 3's. And good feeling, warm and fuzzy, you get the x that we wanted. So there's another check mark. Okay? Think through what the inverse is informally, and then check that you do end up getting x for each of your compositions. And then you know you have the inverse. Practice more on your own, though.